The people of Black Hollow stopped sleeping 17 years ago. Not because they were afraid of nightmares, because the last person who dreamed never woke up. Nobody knows exactly what happened that night. Some say he vanished, others say he died, but every version of the story ends the same way. After that night, the town changed forever. Since then, Black Hollow has lived by one rule: never fall asleep. When Evelyn Carter first arrived in Black Hollow, she thought it was just another forgotten town hidden between mountains and forests. The kind of place people leave behind. The kind of place nobody talks about. After losing her mother, Evelyn needed somewhere cheap to start over. Black Hollow was all she could afford. As the bus rolled through thick fog and winding roads, she stared out the window, watching dark trees pass by like silent shadows. The town appeared suddenly, small, quiet, almost abandoned. The moment she stepped off the bus, something felt wrong. The streets weren't empty. People were everywhere. But nobody smiled. Nobody talked. Everyone moved quickly, keeping their heads down. What caught Evelyn's attention most were their faces. Every single person looked exhausted. Dark circles hung beneath their eyes. Their expressions seemed distant, as if they hadn't slept properly in years. She brushed the thought aside. Maybe life was just hard here. Maybe she was imagining things. As she carried her bags toward her new house, she noticed an elderly woman watching her from across the street. The woman's eyes followed her every step. There was something unsettling about her stare. Before Evelyn could look away, the woman approached. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then the old woman leaned closer and whispered something that sent a chill down Evelyn's spine. "Don't sleep tonight." Evelyn frowned. "What?" The woman glanced toward the distant forest. "No matter what you hear." Then she turned and walked away. Just like that. No explanation, no warning, nothing. Evelyn stood frozen for a moment before shaking her head. The town was strange, but surely there was a reasonable explanation. There had to be. By evening, she finally reached the old house her mother had left behind. The building looked older than she expected. Dust covered every surface. The wooden floors groaned beneath her footsteps. The air smelled of age and forgotten memories. As she explored the house, she found something unexpected sitting on the kitchen counter. A note. It wasn't addressed to anyone. The paper looked old. The handwriting was shaky. Only 4 words were written across the page. "Stay awake after midnight." Evelyn stared at the note. The same warning, again. A nervous feeling settled in her stomach. But she refused to let fear take hold. Maybe it was a local joke. Maybe Black Hollow simply had strange traditions. As night fell, she unpacked her belongings and tried to settle in. Hours passed. Nothing happened. No monsters, no mysterious sounds, no supernatural events, just silence. By 11 o'clock, Evelyn was beginning to feel foolish. Maybe everyone in this town was simply superstitious. Maybe the stories had grown over the years until nobody remembered how they started. Then midnight arrived. The clock struck 12, and every light in Black Hollow went dark. At exactly the same moment, Evelyn froze. The house plunged into darkness. Outside, the entire town disappeared into shadow. Her heartbeat quickened. Slowly, she walked toward the window. What she saw made her blood run cold. The townspeople were standing outside, every single one of them, silent, still, facing the forest. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. They simply stared into the darkness beyond the trees, as though they were waiting for something, or someone. Then it came. A low sound echoed through the night. A distant siren, long, slow, unnatural. The sound drifted from deep within the forest. The effect on the townspeople was immediate. They turned away, rushed inside their homes, locked their doors, closed their curtains. Within moments, the streets were empty again. Only the forest remained, watching, waiting. Evelyn stepped back from the window. For the first time since arriving, she felt genuine fear. The entire town couldn't be pretending. Something was wrong, something everyone knew except her. Determined to find answers, she searched through the house, room after room, drawer after drawer. Eventually, she climbed into the attic. The space was crowded with forgotten boxes and old furniture. Most of it looked untouched for years. While moving a stack of dusty containers, she discovered an old journal hidden beneath them. Its cover was worn, its pages yellow with age. Excited, she opened it. Most of the pages had been ripped out. Only fragments remained. Random entries, incomplete thoughts. But one sentence immediately caught her attention. "The forest is not in our world." Evelyn read the line again and again. The words made no sense, yet somehow they felt important. As she turned another page, something slipped out and fell onto the floor. A photograph. She picked it up carefully. The picture showed 6 teenagers standing near the edge of a forest. They looked happy, normal, like ordinary friends enjoying an ordinary day. On the back of the photograph was a date, 17 years ago. The same year the town stopped sleeping. 5 of the faces were labeled with names. One wasn't. A teenage boy stood near the edge of the group. Part of his face was hidden by shadow, almost as if someone had tried to erase him from the picture. A strange feeling settled over Evelyn. She couldn't explain it, but she felt drawn to him. She searched the journal for answers. Near the final surviving page, she found 2 words written in large letters. Find Noah. Noah, the unnamed boy, finally had an identity. But who was he? And why did someone want him found? Hours passed as Evelyn searched for clues. The deeper she looked, the more questions appeared. Eventually, exhaustion began catching up to her. Her eyes grew heavy. Her thoughts slowed. She hadn't slept properly in days. The warnings echoed in her mind. Stay awake after midnight. Don't sleep tonight. No matter what you hear. But staying awake was becoming impossible. Then something moved outside. Evelyn looked toward the window. A tall figure stood near the forest, watching the house, watching her. Its features were hidden by darkness. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then she heard it. A voice, soft, almost impossible to hear. "Evelyn?" She froze. The voice came again. "Evelyn." This time it sounded closer. Not from outside the house, from the forest itself. The fog shifted between the trees. The darkness seemed alive. Breathing, waiting, calling. Every instinct told her to stay awake, to run, to leave. But exhaustion finally won. Her eyelids grew heavier. The room blurred. The voice faded. And despite every warning she had received, Evelyn fell asleep. When she opened her eyes again, she was no longer in her house, no longer in Black Hollow. She stood beneath enormous glowing trees. Silver lanterns floated through the air like drifting stars. A soft wind carried whispers through the forest. The place was beautiful and terrifying. Then she saw him, a boy standing ahead in the mist, waiting. As the fog slowly cleared, she recognized his face immediately. The photograph, the missing boy, the one everyone seemed to have forgotten. He smiled softly, as though he had been expecting her, as though he had been waiting for years. "My name is Noah," he said. And somewhere deep within the dream forest, something began to wake up.